Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selena, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, man appears in court for alleged drug find. Local vessels get fish supply levy reprieve. And police starts counselling sessions with criminals.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
A Vale-level man whose house was raided by police 2 days ago appeared in the Nasino Magistrates Court this afternoon. 36-year-old Kritesh Ram was arrested after police found an illegal substance in his residence. Shireen Shivan reports.
Kritesh Ram is charged with having 1.2 kilograms of methamphetamine in his possession without lawful authority. His bail was rejected after police prosecutors informed the court that they needed more time to investigate because they have discovered another parcel from his residence containing a suspicious substance which they also believe may be an illicit drug. The prosecutors say police have not yet tested the contents of the second package. However, Ram's lawyer said this was a baseless suggestion to keep his client in remand for further investigation. The magistrate then revealed that the accused had a previous conviction of a similar nature earlier this year, and that's sufficient to keep him in custody. The matter has been adjourned to November 15th. Shireen Shivan, FBC News.
Local vessels will no longer be charged $450 as levy for supplying fish to PAFCO and Levuka. This is an action currently in place to solve the problem of irregular supply of fish to the company. The low supply to PAFCO was a concern to the Standing Committee on Economic Affairs after a submission on the PAFCO 2015 annual report was made by the Permanent Secretary of Fisheries, Sanaila Naingali, today. Savara Tambor reports.
Port levies act as a deterrent to supplying of fish to the company for local as well as regional shipping companies. Permanent Secretary Nengalu has confirmed that removing the levies for local companies will allow PAFCO to increase its production.
Maybe we will be recommending that we really look at the port charges because it's also affecting Levuka in a big way. Yeah? And if it's also affecting the foreign ships who could be harbing in here, it's certainly something that we need to look into. Huh?
An email they've been sent back in the customs. They've sent out a circular after our last budget session that they won't be this 450 won't be applied to local boats now supplying to PAFCO. Oh, so that will be a better. That's a good name.
The purchase of fish for PAFCO is done by Fongching Fisheries, an administration arm that negotiates purchase price from vessel owners on behalf of Bubble Bee Tuna. Bubble Bee and PAFCO have an agreement with Fongching that secures the supply of fish through them. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
A large number of hardened criminals currently free on bail are being visited by police officers. It's all part of an effort to deter further crimes. Akusita Tale reports.
Police officers are visiting homes of criminals who have been previously involved in home evasions and robberies around the country.
Where these hardened criminals are, we go and visit them, talk to them, encourage them to stay away from involving themselves in criminal activities, working with other stakeholders so that they can go into some sort of employment or other issues that will keep them off criminal activities.
The police commissioner says these criminals include those who mastermind major criminal activities.
Some of them we know will sit back and do the planning while the executors do it for them. We are monitoring that as well. And we visit them as well. We tell them we are aware that you are doing this, you are in contact with this person, you met here, you talked. So we are doing the confrontation as well, rather than waiting for things to happen.
Certain approaches have been taken to target criminals to ensure crime is reduced, and Giliho adds the police needs to be smarter in countering them. Akusita Tali, FBC News.
Since the 1st of November, there has been a ban on the export of sea cucumbers or beach demur from Fiji. Minister for Fisheries, Semi Koroilavesau, says they've instituted the indefinite export ban in an initiative to revive the much depleted stocks of the marine species. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
Businesses were given 2 grace periods to sell their remaining stock of BDM, with the export ban coming into place on Wednesday.
There's a heavy penalty, but if they will be exporting it, it will be very difficult because they have to carry it in their suitcase. Because we normally have to give them a permit to export, because they normally would take it in containers. Unless they are carrying it in their suitcase to Hong Kong, it will be very difficult for them to export.
The ministry is stepping up their conservation efforts with legislation under review.
As I said, seasonal closure is something we have in the act, but we have not been able to really enforce it in the last couple of years because we need regulations to further strengthen it. So for all fish types and species, there are certain times when they spawn, and that is the time we put in seasonal closure.
Koroilavesau says in addition to high penalties up to $20,000 and 5 years imprisonment, they've also taken other stringent measures.
Gone a step further and we stopped, because it went this way. We told them, you have asked for a grace period twice, and you said that you still have some in stores to export. Now we'll stop actually diving for BDM.
It's estimated that annually, on average, the export market of beach demur is worth $20 to $30 million. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Still to come, Rewa River gets cleanup. And Pinktober campaign earns over $60,000. Stay with us.
Number 2 na seri. Ya dora chubuli kurna bili. Ibora ni batukara hambara binaranga. Total takina na baronga na Bula FM. Number 2 na seri. Bula.
Bula FM number 2 na seri.
Fiji will accept people from Pacific Island countries affected by rising sea levels if they don't have anywhere else to go. This was highlighted by Education Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum, adding the refugee status will only be given to islands that have been affected by climate change. Ana Ravulo has more.
A few Pacific Island countries are predicted to be underwater in the near future, and the Education Minister says Fiji is ready to provide refuge for islanders displaced by climate change.
We have Pacific Island countries, obviously, that can be submerged completely underwater. Fiji is one of the few countries, actually the first country that has come out and said that we will accept these people as refugees into our country to give them, refugee status.
FBC News spoke to a few people that welcome this initiative.
At the moment, Fiji is crowded, but if they want to go and live in the highlands, then Fiji should take them in.
As far as I think they should, the government should help those people, those needy people, and as we all are human beings, we must help them.
That is a great initiative by the government, and as human beings we should help each other out, and if that's the case, why not?
President Chochi Konrote says Fiji had earlier promised to provide a home for Tuvaluans if their island goes underwater due to rising sea level caused by climate change. Ana Ravulo, FBC News.
There will not be any roadworks or pieces of equipment lying along Princess Road during peak hours effective from tomorrow. This was highlighted by the Fiji Roads Authority, who saw many Fijians, especially exam students, turning up late to school and work this morning. FRA Chief Executive Jonathan Moore says this will make it easier for traffic to flow and people to reach their destinations on time.
We instructed the contractors to pull every piece of equipment and every member of their workforce off the road between 6 o'clock and 9:30 in the morning, and also between 4 o'clock and 6 in the evening as well, to try and ease the congestion in the evening time as well.
We have also factored in a internal message around all our school heads to ensure that candidates who arrive late at the school are entertained and given access to the examination rooms.
11 people, including former Public Works employees, appeared in the Suva High Court today to face 42 counts of corruption-related offences. 9 former PWD employees and 2 persons who work for office supply companies are charged with abuse of office, causing a loss and obtaining financial advantage. It's alleged that from February through May 2010, the former PWD employees facilitated false payments of more than $100,000 to crazy office supplies and entire office supplies, knowing that there would be a substantial loss to the Public Works Department. The matter has been adjourned to the 16th of November. More than 50 tons of rubbish was collected by the Rewa province along the Rewa River in a clean-up campaign linked to the Rewa Festival currently underway at Syria Park in Nausori. Rewa Paramount Chief Rote Mumukepa said the initiative is in line with the COP23 presidency. Sainian Imboila reports.
It's this kind of rubbish that has been dumped into the country's widest river, the Rewa. In an effort to address the issue, Kepa said the time to act is now.
It will be highlighted over the next few days what types of rubbish are being dumped into the river, what kind of destruction it is doing to all the living organisms in the river, including humankind, and for us to be aware that we need to change our lifestyle if we want to improve our environment.
Kepa adds the initiative is also an effort to protect one of the world's largest hammerhead shark nurseries.
Look at the issues to do with Rewa River, where the scalloped hammerhead shark lives, and we've heard that it is one of the biggest nurseries in the world, and we would like to preserve and protect this species of shark.
Festival organizer Etuate Tungota says the cleanup began yesterday from Naitasiri province and proceed right down to Vutia in Rewa.
For example, one tequila in Rewa that has been supported by the NGO SPREP has been able to collect more than 8 tons of rubbish. This includes everything from washing machines to refrigerators, and they've loaded it up and done a great job.
This initiative by the 9 districts of Rewa will soon include the Tailevu province. This event will be done annually. Sainian Imboila, FBC News.
$60,000 has been raised by the Fiji Cancer Society from the Pinktober awareness donations last month. Chief Executive Belinda Chan says the awareness was a successful one, as there was tremendous support from businesses and Fijians around the country. Kelly Vadala reports.
These donations will go a long way to help people diagnosed with cancer get access to the things they might need to fight the deadly disease.
We have received approximately 60,000. There's still funds to be received, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks we'll be able to let the people of Fiji know as to how much we've raised. We have identified that there is a need for counselling services for our patients and their families.
The Cancer Society has also seen an increase in the number of women who have come out for medical checkups this year after hearing cancer survivor stories.
Our survivors who were at the forefront of sharing their stories and testimonies, so a lot of them have come through because they've heard the testimonies or they've heard the stories that our survivors have shared.
No matter what happens, we're here, so our tagline for this year was "No one fights alone." So we want to ensure these young women that when they come, if they don't get the support, we're here.
The Fiji Cancer Society says they've had more morning teas organized this year to raise awareness on the killer disease compared to the last 2 years. It was also encouraging to see children from around the country supporting the awareness by giving in a few coins which just might have been their spending for a day. Kelly Babala, FBC News.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, he will have more on the gold medal winning bodybuilders, but up next is Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. FNPF enhances system. And in Growing Fiji, hotel wins 2 awards. Stay with us.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1. इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्यूजी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं मिर्ची एफएम हॉट आई लव मिर्ची एफएम
हमें स्पिन टकता हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
In business tonight, the Fiji National Provident Fund has introduced a helpline to assist users of the Employer e-Services portal. Chief Operating Officer Chachi Koroi said while the portal was introduced to assist employers with their FNPF-related businesses, some continue to find it a challenge. He adds with the introduction of the helpline, this will provide employers with real-time guidance over the phone and also increase their knowledge of the portal and its users. Koroi added it also means that employers can expect immediate assistance instead of a delayed response they have encountered at times. And we now join Rocco from HFC Bank with the latest from the trading world.
Vinaka, let's look at our major trading currencies today. The Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar strengthened after the Asian markets opened. Australia's trade balance for September came in at $1,745 million versus the $1,200 million expected. No surprises overnight, as the U.S. Federal Reserve's Open Market Committee did little more than confirm what we already knew. The U.S. economy is robust, but inflation is missing in action. The central bank held its benchmark interest rate at 1.25%, and its statement stayed positive on the current state of the U.S. economy. The Bank of England is widely expected to hike rates by 25 basis points. The interest rate decision will be announced later today. Currently, it's 0.25%. Their currency strengthened by 15 basis points during the day, while the euro dropped by 18 basis points. And that's a wrap. Back to you.
Thanks, Rocco. Looking at today's exchange rates and foreign currencies in the Fijian dollar. The Fijian dollar weakened against the Chinese yuan to close at 3.12 and strengthened against the American dollar to close at 47 cents. The Australian and New Zealand dollars weakened, closing at 61 cents and 68 cents, while the PNG Kina was up to close at 137. As for the commodities market, it was a mixed day with oil prices closing at $54.36 a barrel. Gold closed at $1,278 an ounce, and silver was up to close at $17.18 an ounce. And in Growing Fiji tonight, the Intercontinental Fiji Golf Resort has been awarded as Fiji's Best Beach Resort and Best Family Resort at the renowned 2017 Odd Granda Hotels Award. The Odd Granda Global Hotel Awards, TM, was established to recognize exceptional contributions by outstanding hotels and is synonymous with status, luxury and acclaim. These awards celebrate the very best in hotel experience across 7 continents, 172 countries and 90 unique categories on the global, continent and country level. The awards are decided with a unique process by gathering only quality guests. And that's business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead, flying Fijians released for club duties, and Fijian bodybuilders bag medals in Australia. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1. इट्स सो हॉट.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट.
हाय मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्यूजी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट. आई लव मिर्ची एफएम.
हमें स्पिन टकता हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे.
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट.
Fiji Airways flying Fijians coach John McKee has released players in his squad that will feature for their respective clubs in French top 14 games this weekend. McKee says despite the disruption, preparations are on track for their first match on tour next weekend. Vasnil Prasad reports.
The Flying Fijians had a successful 3-day camp in France, where the players got a chance to train with each other and meet the new coaches part of the tour.
one-on-ones with the players, and also, just coordinating our coaching and our training schedules over the next few weeks, and also making sure everything's aligned.
All professional players playing in France have been released, while 8 remain in camp in Toulon.
Players from Fiji, plus Ben Volavola and Rapati from New Zealand will remain with the group here in camp in Toulouse and train on skills and fitness. And on Sunday we'll fly to Catania in Sicily, where our match against Italy will be held.
The side meets Italy first on the tour, whom they beat in the mid-year season by 22-19 at the ANZ Stadium in Suva.
We want to go out there and be competitive. That's the target we set when we left.
The Flying Fijian side regathers on Sunday for the game against Italy next weekend. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Airways Ndrua has wrapped up preparations at home for its National Rugby Championship semi-final against Queensland Country on Sunday. The team will leave for Australia early tomorrow morning. Vashnil Prasad with this report.
Fijian Ndrua coach Senerusi Seruvakula has mapped out a game plan as they prepare to take revenge against Queensland Country. The country defeated the Drua by 24-17 a fortnight ago.
We need to work on our clarity in set pieces and our game pattern, so the players can understand more what we are doing out the field.
Drua leaves for Australia tomorrow and plays the country at 4 p.m. on Sunday. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, coach Senerusi Seruvakula has made 3 changes to his run-on team for the semi-final match against Queensland Country. The front row has been strengthened with the return of Flying Fijians prop Kalibati Tawake, while Vesi Rarawa gets the nod to start at hooker. Seru Dabuilati takes over the halfback's position, relegating Sakyusa Ngavindi to the bench. The majority of the squad remain relatively unchanged from last week. The Vodafone Fiji Mbati had a day off from training yesterday ahead of its second match at the Rugby League World Cup against Wales. Halfback James Torres says while there's a lot of positivity in camp after its first win, players are aware that they still have a long way to go. The Fiji Mbati plays Wales at 9:30 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, the mood's really good. All the boys are on a high. But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Still got a big job ahead of us. It's just the start. So yeah, we've trained really hard the last couple of days, and it's good to actually finally get a bit of a day off.
3 Fijian bodybuilders stood out in Sydney, Australia when they scooped 4 medals in the International Bodybuilding Federation's South Pacific Oceania Championship. Current Mr. Fiji Tekisoni Yanuyanundrua Zainal Reddy and Inoke Lingeri did the country proud, winning 2 gold and 2 silver in various categories. Eroni Tuinuku has more.
Despite the lack of resources, it didn't stop the boys from achieving their goal.
If you compare the Australian athletes to us Fijian athletes, they have a lot of resources compared to us. Their gym equipments, meals, we don't have anything compared to that, but still our hard work.
Mr. Fiji had one objective in mind, and that was to win gold in the competition.
I couldn't afford to doubt what I'm capable of. I had to believe in myself, and just not me. Like there are people who are behind me.
However, it does not stop there, as these champions now focus on the task ahead.
There's a lot of hard work ahead in the next year to try and continue to work on most of the weak areas, try and improve. There's also big plans to host some of the big shows next year by the new federation.
Yanuyanundrua scooped a gold medal in the junior category and silver in the 100 kg open men's division, while Zainal Reddy won gold in the men's physique junior category and Inoke Lingairi taking silver in the 90 kg. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
A large number of punters are expected to bet on next Tuesday's Melbourne Cup horse race.
When it comes to betting, people think that they have to bet big to win big. But just let me highlight on that. You can bet as low as 50 cents and still you can be part of the excitement, the thrill of the Melbourne Cup.
The Fiji Car Club has received sponsorship for its annual car show later this month. Global Warehouse Penrite Oil Distributors today giving the club $10,000 for the event. Organizers expect to have more than 60 cars at this year's show. The event will be held at Suva City Foreshore Car Park on the 25th of this month.
Very happy to be partnering with Fiji Car Club yet again. This is our second car show with Fiji Car Club, and we've seen a growing number of car enthusiasts around Fiji, and we'd like to invite all of them to come and take part in this car show. This will be the biggest car show held in Fiji.
That's it from sports tonight. Angie joins you later on with weather, and in our new media segment, a look at the soon-to-be released iPhone 10. That's after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्यूजी से। मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टॉक ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
In new media, Apple's iPhone X brings a Nelly edge-to-edge screen and facial recognition, but it does also come with a cost. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to Weather World. A little sunshine with overcast conditions and cool winds. I bet most of us loved this weather. Overall, it wasn't that muggy, so absolutely no complaints about today's conditions. Looking at the west, it was partly cloudy to clear, a very dry day in this end. Eastwards from Pakaba to Suva, little sunshine with few isolated showers. More showers are in store for later tonight. And up north, nothing but beautiful sunshine. Expect a few showers later tonight. At sea, easterly winds 20 to 30 knots with rough to very rough seas. It looks like fishing plans are cancelled for tonight. And for the tides, low tide tonight will be at 11:28 with high tide tomorrow morning at 5:57. See the beauty of sunrise at 5:26. For tomorrow, we're expecting little sunshine and more showers. Tomorrow's temps, Suva will be the coolest with highs of 27 degrees. And looking further on to Saturday, expect a wet weekend. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked, should late night shopping be introduced for the festive season?
Yes, I think that it will be a very good idea because many people will be working till late hours and late night shopping will be a very good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea and it also a way to ease traffic.
Yes, I agree because people are in need of, they are in need at times for some things and they can easily go and buy it. They do not, if shops are open at night, it will be a great help to the people.
Yes, I think because during the day people are usually busy and they are at work, so late night shopping should be a good way.
Cinema for the Heart brings the big screen to children of Colombia. Here's one of those feel-good stories. Recapping the main stories, man appears in court for alleged drug find. Local vessels get fish supply levy reprieve and police starts counselling sessions with criminals. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, do you think Fiji's role in COP23 is starting to benefit other small island states? Visit our FBC website to answer. And finally, our shot of the day comes from the famous Cloud 9 in the Malolo Islands taken by Tomasi Mboa. This shows tourists enjoying Fiji's popular two-level floating platform surrounded by beautiful coral reefs. We'd like to encourage all our viewers to send in more pictures of our beautiful Fiji. Simply email them to fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. You can also follow and like us on Facebook, FBC News, or you can follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Kerondo talita kana barorong na radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya.
Komunisom sekolah untuk tali tak na radio Fisheries kena domili.
Yang gua do silil tali, negara ramai nama mani, nandonga. Gitu tali tak jadi angkat kena sebalik pun nangkutur rongo. Barong na radio Fisheries nandumibit.
Na radio Fisheries nandumibit in ronga ni BNN.